Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Higurashi. So, what happened last time actually? I totally forgot. Oh right, yeah, creepy police detective came over, squeezed her shoulders a bunch. Now I remember. Mosh. I wholeheartedly wanted to protect her. I wanted more than anybody else what was best for her. These emotions born from kindness eventually became murderous intent. My pure white intention stained in red and black. And even as I understood that it meant the destruction of the day-to-day life I so wanted to protect. Higurashi? Where did I go? Looking for the answer, the tragedy spreads ever wider.
北条さんは今日もお休みですか?
Give me just a second, I gotta adjust a couple settings here. Okay, yeah, sorry, I think my audio is a little low.
古田さんは何か知っていますか?
So, interestingly enough, that was pretty spooky. I don't think the game's gone and done that yet. I wonder what all that means. The teacher's voice wasn't critical, but Rika-chan hung her head, unable to answer, and I felt really bad for her. The teacher called Rika-chan up and they had an exchange in hushed tones at the dais. At first, Rika-chan said that Satoko's fever had gotten worse, but everyone in class knew it was a lie. Because every day, Rika-chan brought Satoko's bento with her.
さとこちゃん、どうしちゃったんだろうね。
Let me turn up my headset a little bit.
俺が知るかよ。
I'm the one who wants to know most of all. It was already the third day since Satoko's first absence. Ever since then, I haven't felt good. Until just last Sunday, everything had been so much fun. I had reached out to Satoko like a real older brother, and we spent that time quietly, but warm and comfortable. So why had it suddenly been flipped over? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that the world had taken a turn for the worse ever since Oishi arrived. Thinking on it now, maybe the strange apprehensions plaguing me the night before Oishi arrived had been a sign. Kurado Oishi, Oyashiro-sama's servant.
くそ、そんなことあるもんか。あいつが現れたから、サトコが今年のタタリに会う役だなんて決められてたまるかよ。
Just what sort of slip up had I committed to cause those fun times to end so suddenly? Yes, it was the day before Oishi appeared. Shion, Mion, and Rina had spoken of the curse surrounding Satoshi and his disappearance, and it was so sinister it gave me a bad premonition. Such a small thing was the slip-up that invited Oyashiro-sama's servant. It was absurd. I kept on groaning to myself that I would never accept it, ever. I obviously wasn't the only one suppressing my feelings. Mion and Rina were too. Everyone in the class was doing it. Rika-chan knew something about Satoko's situation, but she wouldn't tell us. Rika-chan still held a calm attitude, like a cat basking in the sun. But she was being unbelievably stubborn about this whole thing. She didn't want to tell us, and that wouldn't change no matter how many times we asked her. Everyone understood that, so nobody questioned her.
リカちゃんが言わないならさ、言うまで待つしかないよね。逆に言わないってことは、言う必要もない程度のことかもしれないし。
There was no persuasive power in reassurance given with an anxious face like that. Mion was being taciturn, and just looked up at the sky with a somehow annoyed expression. I couldn't tell if she was unhappy that Rika-chan wouldn't talk about it with her own friends. or if she was concerned over Satoku's well-being. And what about me? My anxiety was suffocating me day after day. If someone else were looking at me, then maybe I'd look annoyed like Mion did. Tap tap. Someone tapped my shoulder. It was Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun.
前原さん、ちょっといいですか？
Why do you kids, why do you want to talk to me again?
今度はお前たちで何とかしてみろよ。いつまでも先輩に頼るのは良くないぜ。
I didn't feel like going along with him, so I was a little unsympathetic with my response.
ちょっと気になる噂を聞いたんすよ。
噂？
はい。ひょっとすると関係があるかもと思って。
A rumor? About Satoko. They hadn't said that, but it didn't seem unrelated. They didn't want to talk in the classroom, so they pulled me behind the school building, lending further credence to that thought. The back of the school was damp and humid like always. Students didn't really come here because they wanted to. It might, however, have been the ideal location for trading rumors away from prying eyes.
富田君、岡村君、その噂話ってもちろん聡子の欠席と関係のある話なんだろうな。
関係があるかはわからないですけど、あるいは
聡子は一体どうしたってんだ？風邪なのか？それともひょっとしてもっと重い病気か怪我か何かで。
いえ、それがむしろ逆で、うちのばあちゃんの話だと昨日の昼にうちの店に豆腐を買いに来たらしいんです。
Oh, Tomita's family runs a tofu shop, added Okamura-kun.
豆腐屋さんに買い物？
My voice sounds so stupefied, even I can't tell. Or even I can tell, even. It was understandable. I was worried about what grave illness or injury she had, when the person herself had been out and about, shopping for tofu.
で、聡子はどうだったんだよ？元気そうだったのか？それとも病み上がりでマスクでもしてたとか、松葉杖で包帯だらけだったとか。
いえ、別に病気とか怪我とかそういうわけじゃなかったらしいんですが。
I should have felt relieved that it wasn't an illness or an injury. But my anxiety wasn't going away. Because Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's expressions weren't looking any better.
絹ごし豆腐を一丁買っていったそうなんですが、ばあちゃんが言うにはおかしいと。
おかしい？なぜ？絹ごし豆腐を買って何が悪い？
Everyone does that, right? Irritated by how roundabout they were being, I had to desperately fight that irritation from creeping into my voice.
北条とフルデってほら二人暮らしでそんなにお金持ちってわけじゃないですよね。だから二人はいつも安い木綿豆腐しか買わないんです。一番高い絹ごし豆腐なんか買ったことないんです。
That's true.
木綿だって絹ごしだってどっちも豆腐だろ？たまにはうまい豆腐が食いたくなっただけかもしれないじゃないか。
それはそうですけど。
I knew how transparent I sounded right then. This wasn't anything trivial. It was some kind of important clue. Not the cheap firm tofu, but the expensive soft kind. Shopping not even in the evening after school, but in the middle of the day. I couldn't figure out what those things meant. As I thought hard about it, Okamura-kun took his turn to speak.
次は僕っすね。これも噂なんですけど、帰ってきたらしいんですよ。
帰ってきた？何が？誰が？
Uh-oh.
北条のおじさんが。
Oh my god! Satoko's uncle. Right. I think Coach told me about him. Their aunt and uncle had taken them in after Satoko and Satoshi lost their parents in the accident.
去年のお社様のたたりで怖くなって町に逃げたっていう北条のおじさんです。こいつヤクザみたいな怖くて乱暴なやつで。
Yakuza? Everything Coach told me came back in bits and pieces. Right. The mean aunt and uncle who had tormented them all their life, or all the time. I think he said that after their aunt was beaten to death by the deviant, he ran away to his lover's house in Okinomiya in fear of the curse.
そいつが帰ってくると、どうして聡子が学校を休んで真っ昼間に絹ごし豆腐を買う羽目になるんだ。
My underclassmen clammed up and looked downwards. There must have been some big hint buried in there. Even if I didn't understand, if I told Mion or Rina about it, maybe they'd know something.
あ、ごめんな、二人とも。せっかく好意で話を聞かせてくれたのに、なんだか問い詰めるような言い方になっちゃって。
あ、いえ、いいんすよ。北条が重病で寝たきりになってないことが分かっただけでも、ほら、儲けもんじゃないですか。
That might be true. But it still won't... It won't make the clouds over my mind fade away.
あ！前原さん、ほらあれ！
Okamura-kun cried wildly, pointing over my shoulders behind me. Startled, I turned around, and way on the other side of the schoolyard, near the school gate, I saw a figure trudging forth. Ah!
北条だ！
You look a little different. I burst into a run faster than I could speak. Let's see what that one looks like. Oh, yeah. She does look different, doesn't she? Might be the eyes. So that, as quickly as possible, I could see with my own eyes that she was okay.
Satoko!
Satoko seemed taken aback by me shouting and running over to her. Oh, no, she's okay. I guess.
なんですの、ケイイチさん。突然大声を出して走ってくるから何事かと驚きましたわ。
バカ！俺のことなんかどうでもいいだろう。それよりどうしたってんだよ、聡子。3日間も。俺心配で心配で。
心配性ですわね。たかだか3日ですわよ。もうケイイチさんは心配性なんですから。
From listening to her, she seemed like the normal Satoko, but I could tell she was clearly acting strangely. Yeah, and I'm kind of getting that same feeling right now. Her smile was somehow forlorn, and her complexion was bad for some reason.
北条！大丈夫だったのかよ。風邪とかじゃないのか？
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun both expressed their concerns.
一体どうしたってんだよ。3日も。俺がどれだけ心配してたか。
ごめんあそばせですわ。ちょっとお家のお掃除をしたりしてたんですのよ。だいぶ長いこと使ってませんでしたから、もう家中ホコリだらけでして。
はあ？聡子、お前何を言ってんだ？なんで家の掃除なんかで学校を休まなきゃなんないんだ？
Satoko didn't answer me. Instead, she passed by me and headed for the entrance.
もう今はお弁当の時間ではありませんの。私はお腹が空いてますのよ。
It was certainly lunch break. I couldn't force her to stop after she told me she wanted lunch since she was so hungry.
まあいいや。リカちゃんは3日間毎日お前の弁当を持ってきてくれてるんだぜ。今日はちゃんと食べてやれそうだな。とにかく早く教室へ行こう。みんなを安心させてやろうぜ。
そうですわね。皆さんにご心配をおかけしてしまったかもしれませんわね。人気者は辛いでございますわ。
I put a hand on Satoko's shoulder, and we ran to the classroom together. Up close, I was able to verify that Satoko looked somehow weak. All this anxiety was supposed to go away when I saw her again. That's what I had thought. But now, I actually started to have quite different fears. What the heck happened, Satoko? Everyone in the class, of course, reacted in the same exact way I had. We worried about you. I'm glad to see you well. What were you doing for 3 days? Our classmates showered her in questions.
本当にご迷惑をおかけしましたわね。
As she cackled, she chowed down on the bento Rika-chan had made for her. Those in the teacher's lounge must have been informed of Satoku's arrival, because our teacher sprinted into the classroom, her breathing ragged.
北条さん。
あら先生、3日間もご心配をおかけしましたわね。ご覧の通り元気でピンピンしてますわ。
もう本当に心配してたんですからね。お弁当が食べ終わったら職員室に来るんですよ。いろいろとお話があります。
3日もサボったからきっと大目玉に違いありませんわね。
Satoko laughed sheepishly while she scratched her head, and the rest of the class burst out into laughter. The teacher was acting angry, but she breathed a sigh of relief at seeing Satoko healthy and smiling as she ate her lunch, with the class surrounding her.
でも安心したよな、レナ。
あ、ごめん。無事でよかったよね。
I looked at Rina and knew. She had a sense that something about Satoko was off too. She's been possessed by Oyashiro-sama. I looked at Mion detached from the clamor as well, with a somewhat grim expression. But Rika-chan, on the other hand, was smiling from ear to ear. She spread out the bento boxes one by one as Satoko finished them. Finally, Satoko was satisfied, and after enjoying a thorough conversation with her classmates, remembered that she'd been called to the teacher's lounge.
めんどくさいんですけど、行かないともっと怒られてしまいそうですからね。僕も一緒に行きますですよ。
Satoko rises from her seat, and Rika-chan runs over to her.
ごめんあそばせ圭一さん。ちょっと怒られてまいりますわ。
おう。なんだったら俺も一緒に付き合うぜ。例のカレーの悪口の時、一緒に職員室で怒られた仲じゃねえか。
それには及ばないのです。圭一はここでお留守番なのですよ。
Rika-chan's words were gentle, but the firm rejection was clear in her eyes. The two of them exited into the hallway, walking shoulder to shoulder. After seeing them off, the class breathed a collective sigh of relief, broke apart, and went back to their usual lunchtime banter. We, however, couldn't go back to how we usually were. Not I, not Mion, and of course not Rina. They stared at the classroom exit Satoko and Rika-chan had left through, their expressions a little distant and grim.
俺たちは仲間だ。そうだろう、みんな。
I blurted out something strange, so Mion and Rina turned around with dubious expressions.
俺は仲間に隠し事はしない。だから、さっき聞いたばかりのことを言う。
I told them the stories I heard from Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun earlier about the tofu shop, and how Satoko's uncle had apparently come back. All at once, without letting them speak.
これが俺の知るすべてだ。だからミオンもレナもしていることがあるなら話してくれ。俺は俺の知るすべてを話したぞ。
I ended my sentence firmly, and looked into Mion and Rina's eyes in turn. Rina stared right back at me. Her eyes didn't falter. Without even opening her mouth, I could tell she wasn't hiding anything. Then our gazes turned to Mion.
別に私は隠して黙ってるわけじゃないよ。
Mion couldn't seem to endure our silent stares, and began to talk timidly as if she was guilty of something.
でもケイちゃんが話したなら私も話さないわけにはいかないよね。
みーちゃん、何か知ってるの？
いや、さとこのおじが帰ってきたっての帰ってきた初日から知ってたよ。この間の日曜日にふらっとひなみ沢に帰ってきたって。
どうしてそれを黙ってた？
ごめん。
My angry shout caused Mion to flinch away, look down, and hang her head uncomfortably.
ケイチくん、怒るようなことじゃないよ。みーちゃん怖がってる。
あ、ごめん。つい大声を。
I lowered my head in apology. Mion accepted it, collected herself, and continued. According to her uncle's relationship with his lover, whom he had been with in Okinonomiya, had collapsed. Without anywhere to go, he went back home to Hinamizawa. And on that Sunday, the day of the barbecue, her uncle ran into Satoko and brought her back to the house.
自宅になんで連れ戻すんだよ。
ろくでなしの怠け者だからね。自分一人じゃ炊事はおろか掃除一つできないし。
そんな、炊事やお掃除のためにさとこちゃんを連れ戻したっていうの
？I remember that she said she'd been cleaning the house when I met her back at the school gate. A moment later, the pieces fell into place, into the jigsaw puzzle of unease. And as for what the puzzle depicted, when I saw it from afar, I could see the answer clearly.
さとこが家に閉じ込められて、いじめられながら家事をやらされてるっていう噂なんだよ。
If you knew that, why didn't you speak up? I nearly yelled that at Mion, but hastily stopped myself.
みーちゃん、それ本当なの？
私がこの目で確かめたわけじゃないから本当かどうかは知らないけど。
Mion looked down again, and staring at the floor, grew quiet.
去年みたいに意地悪なおじさん夫婦のところで暮らしてた時みたいに？
でもさ、そのおじさんって家事はからっきしなんだろ？さとこが重宝なわけだから何もひどい扱いをしているってわけじゃないかもしれないだろ？
ケイチくん、何を根拠に言ってるのか知らないけど、いい加減なことは言わない方がいいよ。
Rinna clearly and directly got mad at me. You don't know much about this, so don't talk as though you do. Yes, that's clearly what she meant.
じゃあレナは知ってるのかよ？
私だって知らないよ。今ここで聞くまでさとこちゃんがおじさんの家に連れ戻されたなんて知らなかったもの。でもね、1年前とはまるで状況が違うの。
状況が違うってどういうことだよ？
サトシくんがいない。
サトシはすごく妹思いのいい兄だったんだよ。いつもサトコをかばってた。意地悪なおじおばのとばっちりが少しでもサトコにかぶらないように盾になってくれてた。
家には 意地悪なおじさんとさとこちゃんが二人きりなんだよ。それがどれだけ行き詰まるものか、圭一くんにだって想像がつくんじゃないかな。ひなみ沢に帰ってきた理由だって、一緒に暮らしてた相手が失踪して生活できなくなったからでしょ。そんな不愉快な理由で帰ってきた人がどうしてさとこちゃんに優しくできるっていうの？
She was right. It wasn't easy for me to imagine Satoku not being tormented.
ごめん。
こっちこそごめん。問い詰めるような口調になっちゃったね。
An awkward atmosphere floated among us. The three of us remained silent and just stared at the floor. Finally, we heard the principal's bell ringing. The teacher came back with Satoku and Rika-chan at her side.
さあさあ、午後の授業を始めますよ。委員長、号令。起立。
ごめんなさいね。失礼。
I couldn't read anything from Satoku's vaguely sheepish expression, but given the clouded look Rika-chan was wearing behind her, it was tough to laugh off the disquieting story I heard from Mion.
よーし、久々に全メンバーが揃ったからね。久しぶりにパーッと大部活で盛り上がろうじゃないの。
Yeah, perfect! Indeed, in times like these, the best thing to do is obviously get rowdy and scheme against one another in a club activity.
望むところだよ。ねえさとこちゃん、やろう。
さとこが好きだったゲームあるでしょ。ほら、なんだったっけ。なんでも構わないよ。言ってみ。
Mion laughed happily, took a bunch of games out of the club locker, and lined them up on the desks. I think that was the first time Mion's ever let someone else decide on a game for her. I could tell she was being especially considerate to Satoku, thinking that whatever her circumstances, if we could just enjoy our time together as a group, that might be some comfort, some diversion. Satoku seemed to understand her feelings too, and smiled vaguely, though pleased. But her head slowly moved from side to side.
ありがたいですけど、お気持ちだけで結構ですわ。いろいろしなければならないことがありますので。
Even Rika-chan hung her head in remorse.
おい、本気なわけ？部活メンバーが久しぶりに揃ったってのにお流れになっちゃうわけ？敵前逃亡は罰ゲームってのは、快速第何条だったっけ？
やめなよみーちゃん。無理に付き合わせちゃダメだよ。
別におじさんは無理強いしてるわけじゃないよ。ただ大盛り上がりした方が絶対に楽しいと思って。
本当にお気持ちだけで嬉しいんですのよ。ご安心なさいませ。次に戦うときは皆さんまとめてでっかい罠にはめてご覧に入れますわ。
Satoku, while insulting us, still said she couldn't partake in the club today and apologized. She quickly put her things into her bag and pattered out into the hallway, disappearing. It all happened in the blink of an eye.
さとこ。
Rika-chan stared lonesomely as her friend hurried home, unable to be part of club activities. Silence filled the classroom. Both the cheerful voices of our classmates in the schoolyard and the voices of the cicadas sounded like they were coming from some faraway world.
つまんないの？
The silence was broken by Mion's bitterness, She began putting the games on the desk back into the locker. Everyone just stared absently at Satoko's seat, now empty.